What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJ Podcast, episode 73, with the leader of the Creamy World Order, Stylez. He'll be here in one moment, but before we get into that, let's dive into our housekeeping, all of the fun things that the podcasting game has to do before you start an episode. Links to my guests as well as myself are all going to be linked below. Make sure you always support our guest links, follow them on social media, as well as their merch pages and how you can find them and contact them. Stan's a little different because not only is he a fantastic wrestler, but he also runs his own promotion, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. And also our sponsors, Suplex Vintage Wrestling. And guys, it has finally happened. A whole store fully dedicated to vintage wrestling. They say it can be done, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Suplex Vintage Wrestling is a store curated by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Located on 5th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just one block south of South Street in the heart of Queen Village. Their shop features the largest collection of vintage wrestling apparel under one roof. Their selection includes classic designs from your favorite wrestlers of the Golden Age, the Attitude Era, internationals, indies, and more. And if you're tired of watching premium live events at home alone, then SVW hosts the best watch parties since your friend Kyle's birthday party when you were 12. And if shirts and watch parties aren't your thing, let's not forget their selection of figures, replica belts, trading cards, and from their t-shirts and hats to rare wrestling memorabilia, they have something for every wrestling enthusiast out there. So what are you waiting for? Check them out at suplex.svw on Instagram or on their website at suplexsvw.com and let them satisfy your pro wrestling needs. That shop is absolutely unbelievable. I believe they are doing something for SummerSlam this weekend, so make sure if you're in the Philadelphia area, go check them out. Also, if you're just looking to find maybe that figure you're missing or an old school t-shirt that you're on the hunt for, go check them out. They're really cool. They do have the online shop as well, and just make sure when you go in there, tell them that you heard it from the ABJ podcast. So our guest today, like I said, the leader of the Creamy World Order, one of the most entertaining, innovative guys on the scene. Such a character. When you see a Stan Stylez match, whether he's working babyface or heel, there's always those small little details and tweaks that just make it stand out. He's been on a tear lately, all over the Northeast area, wrestling all over the place. Just had a really cool match with Effie. And now he has his promotion too is the Intergender Bonanza, which is doing some really cool intergender matches, giving people more opportunities to be seen. All of those shows are done at the H2O Center in New Jersey. So make sure you go and check out Intergender Bonanza as well, because there's a lot of cool stuff happening there. Live chat is open. So if anyone has any questions, anything during the chat, make sure you put them in there so we can get them addressed. And if you are watching this right now on any audio platform or video platforms, head over to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button. The little thumbs ups helps a lot, as well as the subscribe. We're on the quest for 1K, and we're trying to get those watch hours up because we're really close. We're halfway getting monetized. And if you're listening to this later on back on the audio side of things, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever it may be, leave a review. A 5-star review goes a long way. And then Spotify, they just added a Q&A section, so you can drop in some cool little tidbits there and let us know what you thought. Feedback is always great, and it helps out in this content space. Just a little feedback here and there goes a long way. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest, the leader of the CWO. And let's not be, this first time I think I seen him with a t-shirt on and his hair not done. So when he first joined, I was like, who is this guy? And then it's like Clark Kent Superman deal here, but let's bring him in. Stylez. What's going on, bud?
That's right.
Rocking the Intergender Bonanza 2 t-shirt, which we'll touch on here in a little bit. But before we get into that, how have you been?
Good. Busy, but all good here, chilling. Glad to be here. And man, August, my birthday month. Jesus.
Oh, what day?
August 22nd.
22nd. I will be live on an episode. Well, not live, it'll be pre-recorded, but there'll be an episode that day. But yeah. I will make sure I already record. I just recorded that one yesterday, so I can't even throw it in there for you. So, my bad. but we'll make sure we'll flood your social media with happy birthday wishes. But man, it's like I said, you have so much going on. Like I said, one of the most entertaining people to watch on the scene, and it's there's so much to unpack here. But let's start with the basic one to start off with is when did you fall in love with this industry of professional wrestling?
As any kid, I'd watch was it WWF? Yeah, Superstars, and I also watched WCW. Oh my goodness, Worldwide, and those were like the first two episodes, like two shows I'd watch as a kid. And I for some reason, I don't know what made me watch them. I was just watching one Saturday morning, and I put on WF and Superstars, and Shawn Michaels was doing the Heartbreak Hotel. And for some reason, I was just like, oh man, I want to be like this guy. Yeah, like this guy's cool. And I'm like, yo, like, and I was just really like, I'm like, why does he have? I kept on saying to myself, like, why does he have like one ear and I said Shawn, the other one said Michaels? I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I was like, this is funny. And I was like, yo, I want to be like this guy. And I told my mom, like, yo, mom, I'm gonna be a wrestler. I'm gonna be like this guy. And she's like, oh, sure, Stanley, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be a professional wrestler. I'm gonna be a wrestler like this guy when I grow up. And that was it. And that was the rest is just history. I would just watch it every morning. My sister would watch it with me sometimes, but I would always watch Saturday morning wrestling.
You know, it's hilarious. When I was younger, one of the first things I never wanted long hair. I don't know why. I just never wanted long hair when I was younger. Now I have long hair, but because of Shawn Michaels, I've always wanted chest hair. I don't know why. I just like. I'm also a huge Sean mark, as you could tell back here. I got my Sean. That's my guy right there. I get a lot of crap from her because I have a lot of friends who are Brett guys, you know. So there's that rivalry.
No.
Yeah,
I always am a Sean guy. I'll put an Owen over Brett too. I love Brett, but I always say Sean had like he's the total package of wrestling. Like he has charisma. He's a great worker. He can talk to the mic. He can baby face heel, like, and he just his matches, like he's everything. Like
he's the one who spawned sports entertainment. He was the guy who was able to do it all. Absolutely.
Yeah. He would grab you and make you want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Yeah. So growing up, like, so I remember real quick another Sean story. I remember going to a buddy's house when the Iron Man match pay-per-view. And I was the only Sean guy in the house.
Wow.
And when he won, man, I was ecstatic. And everyone's like, get out. I
feel like most of my friends were more Sean people. There was a couple Bret Hart. We all liked Bret, but we knew Sean had it for some reason. We knew Sean was going to be the new guy. He was going to take it to the next level. When it was called like the new generation. That's what they were dubbing it as. That
I was always more gravitated to a heel. Like even growing up, when everyone was a Hulkamaniac, I was Piper, Perfect, Macho Man. They were my like all the baby faces that everyone was supposed to like that was shoved down. You're like, here's the Warrior, here's Hogan. I'm like, nah, get out of here.
What's funny about that? I was always a Hogan. I liked Hogan. I was like, yeah, Hogan. Even when he was WCW, I'm like, yes, Hogan. I was a huge mega Hogan babyface mark. And it's funny, when I started to train to be a wrestler and really learn the business, that's when I went back when, oh man, Ric Flair's the man. Oh my God, Rick Rude. Oh my, like that's when I really started to really gravitate towards the heels. But as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, baby faces like Hogan. I love Tatanka, Razor Ramon. Like, I still love the Razor, but like, and Tatanka, all those guys. But now, like, when I started to really like learn professional wrestling, I'm like, yo, these Ric Flair's the man. Rick Rude. Paul Wonderful. Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful. I'm like, yo, those guys. Oh my God.
Now, growing up, how would you describe to the fans out there now if you were a young Stan Stylez, like middle school, high school? Were you an athlete? What group did you fall into?
No, I literally was not at all, because I went to an all boys Catholic high school, so we had nothing. We didn't even have dances. I think my year that I became a freshman was like the year they stopped the dancing because there was too many fights. It was so strict, and we had to wear sweat. It was so bad, and it was just like
an all boys school. I can imagine testosterone flying.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, it was insane. That's why I probably started to stay in Styles gimmick because of this. But like, it was so strict. You pretty much had to breathe and study. And I feel like now, like, we would just rebel. Like I would listen to heavy metal music, and then all my friends did, and we watched wrestling, and like that was like our like, oh, you can't watch that. That's the devil's like magic doing it. I'm like, no, dude, like whatever. We gotta live. We're young.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was young adolescence, man. Like that's a good question. I would just pretty much. I don't think I would change any. Wait, what was your question again?
Well, you went to a school you said didn't really have any sports or any programs, so I was like, I asked where you kind of fell in. So that school just kind of sounded like it was just a war zone.
I studied. I was probably one of those nerd kids. I was skinny as hell. I started to really lift weights when I was like junior, and I gained muscle really fast. So like I never really was into like sports, but I loved weightlifting. I always liked working out, probably because I wanted to be a wrestler. But those time era, all the guys were all jacked up. So I'm like, I need to be jacked if I want to be a wrestler. And that's pretty much was my thing. I played a lot of video games too. I had a lot of friends that played video games, comic books, stuff like that. But I never was crazy athletic except probably my junior year of high school, after school, I would go to the this little gym blocks away from my school, and I just work out, and I would just be a maniac. Like I didn't know what I was really doing. I would do curls and bench and all that stuff, but I gained my muscle fast, and I was like, yo, like I'm gonna be a wrestler no matter what.
Well, that was kind of where I was going to lead to next. When did you start this fitness journey? Because that's the first thing that people notice when you come out, man, is you are absolutely jacked. Like you're a monster, and you're completely shredded. I don't know the percentage of body fat on you, but there's probably not much.
Yeah, probably not much.
Yeah,
it's either now.
You're absolutely just like So you said you started junior year high school.
Yeah, like I would probably do home workouts at my friend's house, or I like a curl bar and stuff. But like, yeah, I went to this like mom and pop rinky dink gym, because there really wasn't at that time many like corporate gyms. Like there's so many gyms now. I feel like fitness is on the rise. Like people all like there's so many gyms, but this was just like it was such a small spot. And I would just go to the gym and because I just wanted to, be in shape and just to be a wrestler. And then like after a while, my sister told me you should be a personal trainer, because you work out so much. And then it led to that too. And then I started really just getting into like I went to school for it, and pretty much like learned like nutrition, all that stuff, and like just I always kept in shape. I always felt it was important, and I still like always am in shape no matter what. And I even tell these young kids, I'm like, yeah, man, when I was your age, I was jacked. Why aren't you jacked? Like to get in there, I'm like, it's the body. You want to be in the, looked at and go beyond indie wrestling. You gotta freaking, especially if you want to be a Vince McMahon, like,
Now, how much of your physique and your body is also a diet? Like, what's your diet look like for the way you? Obviously, the way like looks like you don't eat anything fun.
only on my cheat days, which I go crazy. And it's usually after Saturday night matches, I'll go crazy. But yeah, most of it is very just basic healthy food, like egg whites, eggs, oatmeal, fruit, vegetables, fish, chicken. I don't eat that much red meat here and there. I think I had burgers, like burger patties. Like I made some burger patties on the grill like a couple days ago. That's the first time I had like red meat in a long time. But
crazy.
Yeah,
how much cardio is in your regiment? Or is it just all weightlifting?
I do more cardio now because I'm getting older. So I'll hit cardio. I don't do anything crazy. Even my workouts, I don't do anything crazy like these influencers have you do. I pretty much stick to basic stuff. But I'll do like maybe like 15-20 minutes of cardio. Most of it's either the bike either the treadmill or a bike after I work, and I'll probably hit them like 2-3 times a week, and that's pretty much it.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Awesome. So you said you got the body physique down. You got all that stuff going for you. You always had it in your heart that you're going to be a professional wrestler. How did you transition from I'm going from the fan, I need to find my school, and this is what I'm going to take that next step? So
me and my friends, we backyarded for a while. Like we had like rings in my neighbor's yard. We always did that crap, and we were just like we just had fun. We just did stupid shit.
Now, when you say ring, did you have a legit ring, or did you have like rope tied around trees?
No, we had posts. We had the turnbuckles. We had the cable with the hose. We can like go to the top rope. We just had like I think we had matches or pads. We had like all that. We would just, I don't know. And we just had like the goofiest, like fun doing this stuff. And it was just for us. And then a couple friends would come and watch it. And we thought we were so cool. And eventually I was like, like I want to go farther than this. And back in the MySpace days, I found other groups. And then I found just places. I've trained at so many different schools, which is good. Now there's even more schools than ever. Like back in my days, it was hardly any like really good like legit schools. There was now there's so many places to get trained. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So who would you credit as some of your early trainers?
The very first guy to really show me it was EPW. I can't remember it. It was such a long time ago. That was like the first place I ever went to like bump or go into a ring. But the first guy to ever really show me anything was Joe Gacy. Like he trained me the basics, all that stuff. He showed me what wrestling is, psychology, all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, like. And then I went on to Ace in Union City, New Jersey at the time. I used to train there. And then from there, I was training at DWF. These places aren't around anymore. Mm-hmm. Pinky Sanchez actually like fine-tuned me big time, and I trained a lot with him. And the rest is just history. I always say this, like, you could train it so much. Like a lot of these guys and girls, I've been training for 2 years, but you haven't had a match yet. They're like, no. I'm like, you got to get out there. You got to get in front of that crowd. It's so different training and doing it in the ring. Like you need that. You need those reps.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Now, do you still do in-ring time, like in-ring sessions? Like, do you just, besides working out, like even though you've been doing this for so long and you kind of have it locked down?
I would do stuff here and there with the kids at H2O, but I haven't been at H2O like helping them out in a while. But I feel like I'm more of an educator now. Like people come to me to be educated because I've been doing this. It's gonna be like 14 years in February of next year. So like I've had so much knowledge, and I've worked like so many veterans and ran my own shows and just been all over the country. Even went to Canada. So like I really have like a lot of educational knowledge and tell like kids or not kids, it's anybody really that's getting in, the do's and do nots, how to like really like be professional and present yourself. And and wrestling always is changing. It's changes all the time, and that's why I love it so much, because like it's just everything. You gotta it's always a learning experience. I've been doing it so long and I still learn stuff, and I love it because it's just so much it's so much of a passion for me, just like working out.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is if you haven't seen a Stan Stylez match, it's very there's a lot of spots, a lot of fun things going on, a lot of just same, like, not, I don't want to say same repetitions, but there's a formula to a Stan Stylez match. Like this, like certain things are going to happen in certain spots and certain things.
Yeah.
But it's you're not gonna. If you work a Stan Stylez match, both, like I mean anything can happen in the professional wrestling world, but I just don't see a match where it's like someone's gonna get hurt in this match. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a very safe. Let's work the crowd. Let's have some fun. Let's go out there and get the crowd fired up and let's have a good time here. When did that become your style of wrestling? When did you lock into like, this is what I want to do? I'm gonna stay away from killing myself out there and doing that insane stuff and conserve. Because I think what sets you apart with your style is there's not going to be a time where you're out there that you're not going to get the crowd involved. You're probably going to be one of the top merch sellers because the style you do is you get the crowd involved, which gets people going, well, how do I go and interact with him more because he's so entertaining? But then also you're saving your body because you're not doing crazy things or risking spots of suicide dives or things that can hurt you. So it's going to make you be around here a lot longer. When did you land like this is the style of wrestler you're going to be?
I always had, like, even in the old OG Stan Stylez days, as the young kids like to say, a very like different style, very comedic style, and it took me a while to really like hone it, and it really was all by accident. Like I would just do things, and I'm not any kind of embarrassing spot or anything like. I always say this: if I'm gonna pop from it, 90% of the time the audience is. So I'm like, all right. So I literally would do things, and I would hear the crowd, and if they went nuts for it, like I'm like, oh, that's part of my offense now. And it just kept going and it's to this day, it's still that. And I really would feel like at the end of like 2017, 18, that's when I really started honing in like my craft and really started like manifesting like this, like pretty much like almost, I would say I always knew what Stan Stylez is, but like I elevated him to go to do any style, like pretty much like any body, like, okay, like a lot of times wrestlers will be like, oh, you have to wrestle their style. Like it might be hard to wrestle their styles. I'm like, well, my style, like, I'll wrestle anybody. And I've wrestled so many different people who I wrestled deathmatch wrestlers, tons of females, like high flyers, like other comedies, and it just works. Like it just, I'll work with anybody, and it's like you said, it's always gonna be a fun and safe match. And it's just, I've been dubbed like the easiest and funnest wrestler to work by many other wrestlers.
And on commentary, it's a breath of fresh air on commentary because you're gonna have those moments where you can get a little goofy on commentary and be funny, and it's every time because I've called a lot of your matches, and every time I see them on the card, I always like you circle them like that's gonna be fun. And the best part of those matches too is you look in the card and you're like, oh, he's wrestling him, and you think to yourself, he's also a comedy person, or they're not. So then you're like, how is this gonna work? It does. It's super exciting. When did the cream, like the whipped cream, when did that enter this whole, because that's become the thing, the creamy world order?
Started pretty much, I might have had, I always, my memory, I feel that the cream came first and then the shake weight. I feel like, because I started as a heel, which is crazy. A lot of times when you start professional wrestling, they make you a baby face. I would start as a heel. And when I started working more as a baby face, I was like, I need something that besides the shake weight to get people involved. And I don't know what it was. I'm like, what if I just came out whipped cream and put in girls' mouths and made me think they would like that? And they would, because I was like this. I had a very perverted,
the
like
innuendos, yeah.
I had a very like perverted, like people said I was like, look like I was Qui-Gon on steroids. I'm like, yeah, we'll go with that, yeah. And I would just squirt. And then eventually, like, kids loved it more than that. Kids go crazy, and I'm like, oh crap, I got something.
Because the parents are in on the jokes, but the kids just think it's harmless whipped cream.
Yes, and I feel like it just makes me like, when I'm on cards, I feel like I tell a lot of younger kids coming in, like, you need to stand out. Like, they're like, how do you stand out? I'm like, you got to figure it out for yourself, because they say I stand out so much, and I wrestle like so different compared to pretty much like so many, like almost everybody. I feel like no one really wrestles like like there's comedy guys, but not like me. Like I kind of use the gimmicks as part of my like repertoire. And somebody on Twitter, a Japanese Twitter, posted Stan Stylez is a goofy comedy wrestler that uses shake weight, whipped cream, and pants attacks. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much who I am.
And the crazy thing is too is like you play a really good like chicken shit heel. Yeah, and also someone who just takes an ass whooping, but 9 times out of 10, you're in way better shape and look way stronger than your opponent. But like, it's almost like, holy crap, the muscles and the physique is there, but the way you conduct yourself in the ring, you almost come off as like the small, scrawny guy who should be getting his ass kicked. Which is, it's like you trick people's brains. It's crazy.
Exactly. Because I want that attention, because our job is to suspend disbelief and get emotional response. And I always am doing that because a lot of times there might not be a wrestling fan out there, but I'll make you a wrestling fan, because you'll watch my stuff and smile when I see the smiles from ear to ear, and I love when people are just going crazy and they're laughing, or they're just like, "What is this? I've never seen this before." That's the best. Like, I'm like, oh, because you can watch so much wrestling on TV. There's so many shows on TV. But they're like, I never saw, it's something new. And it's like, I'm bringing you into my world, and I got you. And now you're not going to be able to escape the creamy kingdom.
It's a blast. In the chat, we have, what was Stan's favorite wrestler growing up? We did touch on that early on, Steven, Shawn Michaels. Yeah. And what was a match that you watched that got you hooked?
What match? What was that again? What match?
A match, like a match that got you hooked in wrestling, or one of your favorite matches growing up.
Man, just so I don't think there was a match. It was really when Shawn Michaels did the Heartbreak Hotel. Like, that's what made me.
Mine's Shawn Razor WrestleMania 10. I watched that so many times. Yeah, that's That's my crack. That's my match right there.
There's been tons of matches I like that I really just I can't pick just one.
Is there a comedy people on the scene that growing up that you're like you kind of, because I mean Sean was a gimmick, but he never really leaned super heavy. Like he was funny during DX, but I mean, so you do have some DX references because you have the innuendos and there's like it means something, but it's almost like you don't even realize it means that. Like even growing up, you said "suck it" and you didn't really know what you were saying. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
But who are some people on this like growing up that you're like attach yourself to when it comes to that comedy style?
Oh man, I really watched a lot of Rick Rude, Ric Flair. Man, that's a good question. Like those two guys, Rude really resonated with the gimmick to me. And I took a little bit of all that, little bit of stuff here and there, but I don't know. Like even Austin, he was doing comedy stuff too. The Rock, like it was definitely, I would say, the Attitude Era, like just being like a very much showman, very entertaining character that really like just manifested me. And I was like people say if I started wrestling earlier than I did, which I've been around for a while, like especially like the ECW days, I've been like crazy over the ECW. I'm like, oh my god, probably.
Yeah, you'd have been in the Blue World Order or something.
Yeah,
that's a crazy thing. Like, because you have the physique of a Rick Rude.
Yeah,
you bump like Sean and Flair, like you know what I mean. And then you have like your move set is almost rockish, where you have like the people's elbow, where it's a move that doesn't look like it should be devastating, but it's funny. And you wait for that. Like when the Rock wrestled, he's gonna punch, he's gonna kick, he's gonna go for the people's elbow, he's gonna spit in the hat. Like he just had those cadences that he's gonna hit every match, and you can see it 1,000 times, but every time he does it, you pop for it. So you have that aspect in your arsenal as well.
Yeah, I always say I want people to anticipate the pants, how I'm gonna do the pants, the how I'm gonna use the whipped cream, the shake weight. Like I want them to be like, all right, I know he's gonna do something with this, but what's he gonna do with it? And I always was taught that too. Like you have to be an unpredictable character, and I'm very unpredictable. Stan Stylez is very unpredictable. Like you don't know, and that's what brings people in. They'll be like, "What's this guy going to do next? Oh my god, he did that. That's insane. I can't believe he did that. What's he going to do now next show?"
The one that got me was the pants. So if you've never seen a Stan Stylez match, he wears like 3 or 4 breakaway Adidas pants. Yeah, and the first pair he'll throw, and if he's a baby face, you just kind of throw them in their face and they fight and they rip them off and they come back at you again. You throw the next one. But as a heel, the way you adjust that is you throw the first pair of pants and you choke them with them. And then the ref takes the pants off you. They turn around to take the pants out of the ring. And by the time the person gets out of the choke, you have another pair of pants and you're choking them again. It's like the same bit, but just a minor change. And it's genius. Yeah.
The yin and the yang, to switch it up a little bit, and that's it.
It's so good. Just got raided on the Twitch side by my little brother, Captain Butters. So thank you for the raid. 6 viewers. Thank you guys all for joining in. I don't do very well on the Twitch side, so I kind of I didn't give up on it, but I lean a little heavier on the YouTube. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. The Butters Nation is here. So you get the cream. He's got butter. That's his thing.
Cream.
Buttercream. There you go. You guys can tag it up. So how long have you been doing this? How many years have you been in the grinding at this?
14 in February, so probably about 13 and a half. Yeah, long time.
That's nuts. One of the questions in the chat here, I was going to wait till a little later, but we'll get it in so he doesn't think I'm ignoring him. Where in the world would you like to wrestle? Some bucket list places.
Oh, man. I loved wrestling in Canada. I got to do that for Interspecies this year. I would love to go back to Canada again. Eventually, man, I always feel that I need to go to Japan, like to Japan. And I've had some friends and I have fans in Korea. And they said Stan Stylez would be like the cream god if he ever stepped foot in Japan. I'm like, oh my god, let's do it. Like, how do I do this? I got to go to Japan.
Japan has a lot of good comedy wrestlers.
Yeah. Hey, Japanese promotions watching this.
Yeah.
My TM.
You'd be great for DDT, right? Like that's
Let's go.
That's who you should wrestle. We need you versus the doll. I always forget the doll's name. Could you imagine doing your bits to a doll?
Let's do it. I'm down for it. Yep.
Wasn't there a recent match where it was an H2O kid who may have just been on this podcast and he was manning the doll?
Jimmy Lloyd wrestled. I forget the name. Oh, But yeah, it was fun.
I don't want to put him out
I'll
there in case he
definitely
doesn't
listen.
want people to know he was the doll, the person doing the doll bit, but
Yeah.
but he was on this podcast not too long ago. So wrestling a long time, you got your character done, you got your bit, you got everything kind of flowing for yourself. Now you're gonna dive into running your own promotion, and you're gonna bring in the intergenderbonanza. What sparked this idea for this promotion? What made you lean in more towards the intergender side of things, and how did this come about?
Well, every time I had an intergender match, it got a lot of attention and a lot of views online. Like people was went nuts for it, and those matches to this day get me the most attention. So I was wrestling in West Virginia for a company, SCWA, it was called, and I was the champion of that company. This is around 2000. I'm going to say 2017, and going to 2017. No, I'm sorry, about 2007, maybe 2018. I'm bad with dates, but the opponent I was supposed to wrestle that night couldn't make it. It was very last minute, and then a friend of mine, now she goes by Raina. She was Raina Sky. Now she's Raina Black. She she was coming to the show too, and I was like, "Yo, like, what are you doing on this show? Like, do you have a match?" She's like, "I don't know. I think they're just making me do a promo." I'm like, you're gonna go to West Virginia because she's in
To do
Philly.
a promo?
Like, yeah, I'm like,
She's
no,
a PA girl.
I called the guy. I called the promoter. I'm like, "Yo," I'm like, because he was just scrambling to find somebody for me to wrestle, and I was like, "Yo, why don't I just wrestle her?" And they're like, "Oh no!" Like they were very like skeptical at first. I'm like, "No, like, I'm like, I promise you, it'll be so good, and the fans will go nuts. I mean, just trust me." And they did. They gave me their trust, and I said, and we went out there and we did it, and it was, as you saw my matches, it was insane, and it was so funny, and people loved it, and they were like, "We want more of this, we want more of this," and I was like, "Well, okay," and that was just the idea. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do my own like show, like host my. That's the idea for this was just me doing my own show, like pretty much as Marcus Mathers just did his second, like his show.
Yeah,
that's all it was. It was supposed to be a one-off thing. I just wanted to do a really fun show, and I had a lot of people supporting me and backing me up, and I was like, "Yo, let's just do this." And I did the first two was in this hotel, which I don't even know if it's around anymore, in West Virginia in 2018. And they were so much fun. It was a blast. It was like Vegas, dude. Like, yeah, we traveled a lot. Like, I brought a lot of people from like the Jersey area and PA area, all over. Pittsburgh came by. I was wrestling out in Pittsburgh at that time, and it was like Vegas. Like, we were like, whatever happens to the Bonanza stays the Bonanza, because it was so much fun. And we were like, this is awesome. And then it just and again, this is the second shirt, but it was really supposed to be just a one-off thing, and it just manifests itself. And then I pretty much moved it closer to New Jersey, because I wrestle a lot H2O, and the rest is history. And now we're going to be going on. We're on 16 of them, and we're going to be going 17 soon. People have been waiting.
Crazy.
Yeah, people have been waiting for when's the 17 going to happen. It's going to be. I might drop that sooner or later.
I love that. Where can people, if people wanted to go back and watch previous intergender bonanzas, where can they see that at?
There's a lot on IWTV, but I have the first two, I believe, on my YouTube. Yeah, I think the first one, I think almost all the matches on the first one are on my YouTube. My YouTube is pretty booming. So yeah, just go on YouTube and give me that like, subscribe. It's all about those likes.
Transfer all the likes and subscribes over to Stylez on YouTube. Yes.
All those matches are crazy. Like, and it's crazy going back, because today is the 5-year anniversary of the Stylez Interbonanza, now the IGB for short. And there's been like so much talent that wrestled for me, like going back, like holy crap, like Thunder Rosa, Shotzi, Sunny Kiss, Sue Young, like what, like Holiday, like you're like what, like I'm like, yeah, they were a part of the shows, like and not to even like the people now, but it's like, whoa, like these guys and girls, like they went on to become big stars, like holy crap. I'm like, yeah.
That's super dope, man. I love it. I love how you take the you collaborate with other promotions, and you bring the title, and like how you've been working a lot with Adina, and then you've been carrying the rivalry with Adina even through her injury, and trying to keep her on the scene, because one of the biggest things, man, when you get injured, you're always terrified that people are going to forget you, because this business,
Yeah.
if once you step away, whether it be injury or a mental health break, it keeps moving, and sometimes it's hard to reinsert yourself back in. So for you to, even though she was injured, to kind of keep her relevant and keep her name out there and keeping her alive, so when she did return, you jumped right back into the rivalry, was super cool of you to do that.
She just won the title, not when then she got injured, and it was like, oh man. So yeah, I'm always I'm not gonna say I don't like when things happen, but like when things do happen, I'll be all right. Now what do I do? Like I always have a plan A, B, C, D, E, and like even sometimes an F.
I think when the Adina got hurt, that's when you kind of you went with Marcus for a little bit there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And he's a huge name, so that's going to bring eyes to you, because the kid's a workhorse and he's getting his name out there like crazy.
He's a machine. Like I know, not to discredit Brian Cage, but the machine market, like he is the machine. Like he is just go all the time.
The way people talked about Garcia and Wheeler Yuta is the way people are now talking about Nick Wayne, Jordan Oliver, and Marcus Mathers.
Yeah, I tell him, you're like going to be like the AJ Styles.
Matthews, sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna be like
not Mathers.
You're gonna be the AJ Styles of this generation.
Yeah,
like, he's just so like good, and he's everywhere, and he's only 20, and I'm like his uncle, because I'm his best friends with my dad. I'm best friends with his dad.
Yeah, he's so talented. I actually got to work with him a little. Not work with him. I got to watch him at Deppin's Brewery. They did the Fight-tacular. And the whole time he was like, I need a drink. I'm like, H2O, baby. He goes, yeah, that's the only H2O what I drink. And I was like, like the school. But yeah, he did a guest, like a referee spot, and he's just entertaining. Like he's actually like, for how serious he could wrestle, he could do comedy very well too.
He's learning all the time.
Yeah. What belts does Stan think are the best looking belts in wrestling?
My belt.
There you go.
Which is crazy, because when I put my face on it, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get so much heat for this. People are gonna bury me for this. I don't know. I don't care. I think it's cool, and people loved it. They're like, yeah. And it's funny, because I wanted to change the title when Adina won the title, the IGB Super Champion. I wanted to change the belt, and she said, no, I like it. Keep it. I'm like, all right, you saved me some money.
I like how you just peel the sticker off it.
Yeah, she's like, I like this. I want to keep it. I'm like, okay. But there's like in all wrestling right now, or indie wrestling? Is that
all wrestling?
Man, I really like the new world heavyweight title belt. A lot of people were saying, they were like, kind of like, oh, I'm like, no, I think it looks pretty badass. I hated
it at first, and it's grown on me.
I
especially when they showed Roman's new belt and they didn't change anything but the color. Now the new belt is way cooler.
100%. I'm like, guys, you could have made, like, I expected something like the old was it the UK NXT title? I expected something like that. Beautiful belt. Yeah, I wanted something like that. Like, what is this?
The new belt is kind of like a smaller version of the big gold. It has the big gold feel to it.
Exactly.
And then I was like, oh, they're gonna do, because the rumor was the big gold and the eagle were two they were toying with, and I was like, oh, Roman's gonna get the eagle, and then the big gold's gonna be on the other one.
That would have been better.
And then
I mean, I guess they want to modernize stuff, and like, I see what they're doing. I feel it's strange that Heyman still has the other two titles with him. Like, he carries them. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why does he have the? I don't get that. I mean, maybe that's just, I don't know.
I think still it's going to eventually lead to Cody beating Roman. And I think Cody's going to bring back a version of the Winged Eagle.
That's what. Yeah.
That's what I think's going to happen.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I feel like I feel like they could have just kept them with the two belts, because it makes them look so strong with those two belts. And then if Cody did beat him, then this have a new title. But hey, they want those replica title sales, and I see a lot of people on YouTube getting the replica title. So hey, WWE
MJF, as soon as they came out with the MJF version, sold. Yeah.
Oh, I love that belt. I would say the AEW title is really awesome.
Yeah, the TNT title, every time for a while there, every time someone new had it, they changed up the style of it, which I thought was cool. Like, for me, as I'm not a huge collector, but when I'm thinking of like buying toys, I'm like, well, I gotta buy each version of the character, because they come with their version of the belt, like the Scorpio Sky, a Lakers title, which I thought was gorgeous. But another one in the chat here. You guys are killing tonight. If Stan could wrestle anyone in the history of wrestling, who would it be? Your dream match?
Oh, I want to wrestle like Rude. I would love to. Rick Rude and Chris Jericho. I feel that me and Chris Jericho, like I can just see him like, yeah, I'm down for all this. Like, we would just have so much fun.
It would be the demigod pain maker cream
Versus
pie
the cream
match.
maker, the pain
Yeah,
maker versus the cream maker. I just think it'd be so a blast.
I remember the when you did that match, the cream pie match. I was just like, "Yep, we're doing
Yeah.
this."
And you know what? A lot of my stuff. That's the thing about it. A lot of other wrestlers and promoters will make up or come up with different ideas. Like the kiddie pool cream pie, that was Uncle Masty's idea.
Yeah, it was Rosh. Yeah,
Yeah, Roch gave me that, and and it's to the point now. Like a lot of, like, I think I'm doing something like that this weekend, or something's
I
happening
seen
like
you
that.
pull out the kiddie pool at a different promotion just recently.
Focus, yeah, we did that, yeah, and I feel that it's. I always I'm kind of telling promoters too, like, you know, I want that to be a special occasion. Like we can't have it all the time because it'll be overkill.
Yeah,
You know, like
and you don't want to travel every show with a kiddie pool in your car.
Yeah, unless you want to give me more money, like let's go. You know, hey, let's make that like special, like, you know, like a special match. Because
I love it.
Yeah, it gets more anticipation and more butts in the seats.
Have you ever done the shake weight and like put thumbtacks to it?
Yes, I did that. I did that. I did barbed wire on it. I put a kendo stick on it and shook it when the kendo stick was shaking. I did all kinds of stuff with that thing, man.
That's
oh my
awesome.
God.
So who are some matches? I know we talked about during the intro. Recently, you just got to work Effie, who's killing it now. Probably like him and Cardona are the king of the indies. You know what I mean?
Yes,
they're just both.
100%.
If there's two matches everybody wants right now, they want to work Cardona and they want to work Effie. How was setting up that match? How was it working with him? Because I know for a while you said on previous podcasts, shout out to Harley, Talk of the Ring, that came up as a question of what's a dream match for you, and you said Effie, and then it actually happened for you. How was that experience working with Effie?
It was awesome, and it was definitely a dream match, not just for me, for all the fans, because the fans been wanting it for so long. And it was a blast. And we both saw our time we had. We were both like, man, I don't know. We might have to go a little over. I'm like, yeah. And I said
I was going to yell at Effie for going over on time.
We didn't. It originally was going to be Bussy versus me and Mark Angel. And I was for that. And I mean, we can still have that. But it got just me and Effie. And I even when that tag match happened, I was like, the fans are going to want me versus Effie. Like we need to have something where it's me versus Effie, like just that. And I knew once we got into that ring, and the fan, like we were just sitting there, we could have just looked at each other for like 10 minutes because they were just chanting so much. And I'm like, we got this. And that's what I love about, like, I love like when the crowd's so like into them. Like I'm like, we could do anything, and they're gonna go nuts. And they did, and we did pretty well. We literally was like, oh, it was a very Jim Cornette that would be like, had a hard time, but it was
rolling over.
Yeah.
Who now, besides the Effie match, who are some other matches that really stick out for you that you really enjoyed working with those people? And
I've had some really good ones this year. I think this year I had some, and last year too, but these last 2 years I had some killer ones. I really love wrestling Little Me and Kathleen. We had 3 matches this year, and everyone got better and better and better. The last one was at Focus Pro in Everett, Mass, and we did a whipped cream everywhere match or anywhere match. It was a full scale anywhere match with whipped cream, but with whipped cream. And it was awesome. I really liked wrestling Danny Moe. I wrestled Danny Moe a lot this year.
She's been killing it.
Yes, she's been doing good. Bobby Orlando, me and Bobby had some really fun matches. Those matches really, really, really were a lot of fun. Me and Marcus always have a lot of good matches too, whether we did some tag matches or single matches. He's great. And then just me and Mark Angel tag teamed a lot all over. We had killer matches all over, baby faces or heels. We just had so much fun. I always say this, like, been doing this so long. Like, I just want to have fun. I'll wrestle anywhere and everywhere as long as I'm having fun and the fans are more importantly, the fans are having fun. That's all I care about. I just want to have fun, and nothing's stopping me from having fun. Nothing.
What are besides the Effie ones? What are some other ones that haven't happened that you want to happen or the fans are clamoring for?
I don't want to give too much information up, but one that I've been and the fans been clamoring for, like you could say, might be happening sooner than you think. I don't want to give too much information out.
Okay, all right. I was fishing out.
I
sorry,
would
go
say
ahead.
this though, like couple of female. I love my intergender matches. I never got to wrestle Christina Marie yet, and I love
Ooh,
Christina Marie. Yeah, oh man, we go back. I love her. She's a sweetheart.
she's
I want to
awesome.
wrestle her.
I've been DMing her. She's not answering her DMs. I want her on the podcast.
Yeah, she's a busy girl.
Yeah.
But man, yeah,
I
this
have
is one
two.
of
I
other.
have three matches. And the only reason I picked these three is because they're so wildly different from
go.
you, and that's why I want to see it.
They're always the best ones.
They're two female and one male. The male I think would be hilarious because he's so serious and so angry, but also he's very entertaining. The Mecha Brian Johnson.
Oh God, dude, I knew Brian when he was when he was like a little kid. Like, yeah, that would 100%, yeah.
Because he's so like serious and intense.
Yeah, I knew his
great.
brother. I went to high school with his brother. Like,
really?
So, yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
he's so good, so good. Edith Surreal.
Okay, yeah, I never wrestled her either. Holy shit, yeah, that would be fun.
And then the dream match for me would be Maxie and Paler.
Oh, okay.
Like the Wasteland versus the Creamland.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
And even if you get Max and their partner,
yeah,
versus because you'd be like the Wasteland versus the Creamy World Order.
Yeah,
because it's so wildly different. I think
that is good. You gotta put that out there. I didn't even think of those. Wow,
yeah, that would be that'd be amazing if it happens. Credit the ABJ podcast.
Definitely, 100%.
So when is the next intergender show coming out? What a time frame? If you don't want to announce the date right now, but when
I will not announce the date. I will announce the date very soon, but it will be in October. So it might be a very spooky bonanza.
Ooh, the spooky bonanza show. That'd be awesome, and it will be at H2O again.
Yes, it'll be announced very, very soon. In fact, if you're in my chat, the IGB chat group, I might be
on Instagram, correct?
No, it's on Facebook.
Facebook?
Actually. I'm a Facebook.
Oh yeah, it is a Facebook chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dropping that date probably after this podcast. So
there you go. So head over to Facebook at Intergender Bonanza, and I don't know how to join those chats. They're
private chat. But yeah, if you want to join, I'll have to join. Just hit me up and I'll put you in there.
There you go. Anything you want to plug? Get out there. Something we didn't talk about that you want to talk about?
Man, we did a lot. I would say, it pretty much just. I always say this. Live streaming shows is great, but it's awesome. It's when I started, that was not even a thing. But as professional wrestlers, we want those butts and seats. If you can come to a show, man, support professional wrestling any way possible. And I always tell fans this, like, especially me, and there's a lot of wrestlers that travel hours. I mean, hours to wrestle 8 to 10 minutes or less than that for you. Like, buy some merch, whether it's $5 or even like $1, anything, $5 or $10. Like, it goes a long way. It helps us out with our travels, food for us. Like, it just goes a long way. To support professional wrestling any way possible. But I always say this, like, yeah, I watch streams all the time too. But if it's so different than going to a show, you got to go to a pro, especially if I'm on the card. Oh my God, it's 20 times better than you're like, you got to be there live and come talk to me. I'm really easygoing. If I'm most of the time I'm the villain and people are like, oh my God, he's me, like, nah, you can just talk to me, whatever, anything.
Yeah,
come hang with me.
When it's time to sell merch, kayfabe goes out the window.
Yeah, it's down 100%, because
I'm trying to make money.
No matter what, all about the fans.
Now, here's a question for you. Okay. You've been known a lot in your matches. You do the spot where your opponent gets you and arms back, and you let a fan take a crack at your chest here and there. Have you ever had that backfire where someone just crushed you?
No. Kids sometimes will start kicking you, and it depends on the company. Like, if it's like a company like H2O, yeah, like companies I've worked for before, I'm down for that. But if it's a new company, I'm kind of like, maybe we shouldn't do that, because I don't know who's going to be out there, and like, I don't know. Because sometimes like people don't know how to chop. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'd rather do like them put me in the fans and then they put the whipped cream away and chop me, because that's actually my move. When I was babyface, I do the whipped cream chop. I said that gets even more over, and it's more unique. And I'm all about uniqueness, like stuff to stand out, like anything to stand out, something that like no one's ever done before. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And if they did do it, we're gonna do it better.
Yeah. Another really fun match. Unfortunately, it didn't end very awesome. But the in between of the match, the beginning to the very end, was really good. It was you and Deppen at Brewfest.
Oh
We're like
yeah, that
literally
was
through the
fun.
street and through the crowd, and
Yeah, he's
was
another
that
machine, man. He's another machine.
he's so good. He should be back very soon from his injury. Just recently, literally the same injury Daniel Bryan had, and he's pretty much almost back from it already.
Well, that's good.
Did you hear what happened with that?
Did he break his arm?
Yeah, he broke the same break as Daniel Bryan with Zack, except he broke it with Zack Sabre Jr. He went to the hospital. They said, "Hey, you have to do surgery. The one or two things are gonna happen. We're gonna do surgery and put steel plates and pins in it, or we're gonna try to pull at the bone and reset it."
Oh my
And
god.
he goes, "What's gonna be cheaper?" Obviously, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna pull it." He goes, "Cool. We're not doing it right now. I'm going to a concert tomorrow morning, so just soft cast it. I'll see you in 2 days." So with a
Wow.
broken arm, he went to a concert, came back, and they x-rayed it again. Somehow in that time, he reset his bone and didn't know it.
Wow.
So it had no. They just casted it then, and he literally healed naturally and should be back very soon.
That's good. Yeah, that's lucky right there. Holy shit.
Well, yeah. How crazy is that?
We're built different. Professional wrestlers are built different than we're. Can I curse? I don't think I cursed.
Absolutely,
yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're fucked up. I always say this, like, we're fucked up in the head. We like look at me. Look what I do. How could I not be normal? Like, I'm so fucked up. We're so fucked up in the head. Like,
have you ever had a Stan Styles like Andy Kaufman spoof shirt or something along the lines of like the intergender champ or whatever?
No, I feel like so many people have done that, and I even to this day, the intergender, it never really was something for guys versus girls. I never really like promoted that too much. Maybe in the beginning a little bit, but I just wanted to be wrestler versus wrestler, like equality. This is going to be a fun dream match. Time like a dream match scenario where it's like I'm all about unique characters like myself, unique matches, like never before seen matches where like you only thought of it or even made characters in the video games and you're like, I'm gonna do it's gonna come to life. Like the biggest one I would say a lot of people said that was when I had Ava Everett versus Ooh La La. People are like, I never thought of this match.
Oh my god,
saw it was insanely good. They're like, oh my god, I couldn't even. Like it was just like, and
if I ran a company, I'd make it a bit every show that somehow Ooh La La is on it and he's wrestling somebody. Yeah,
I always
so
try
entertaining.
To get Ooh La La. I always try to get Ooh La La. Like, because he's just, oh man, he says I'm the best comedy wrestler. I'm like, no, you're the best comedy. We're like, no.
Two of my favorite, well, besides you and Ooh La La, there's three other people when I think comedy wrestling, they stand up, but they all of you can actually wrestle too. Like you can step away from comedy and still put a great match on. Tommy Vex is very high on that list.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Very entertaining. AJ Evers, very, very entertaining, very funny.
Yeah.
And Trajan Horn, just like
never heard of him.
Trajan and AJ were tag teams for a while, and Trajan stepped away from wrestling for a little bit, but just insanely funny. And it's just the small things. Like you don't even want them to be funny, and they just go out and do it. But
another one,
wildly entertaining.
Another one also is Cannonball, Jeff Cannonball. He's another really funny guy, and he can go and he can do death matches and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, have you ever done a cream match with Tremont?
We had, yes. Cream match that was at the Bonanza. I think it was I'm bad with the numbers, maybe 6, 7. It was on my birthday.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look for that one. IWTV, get all of your, go back and watch the back catalog and support that. All the links below, like I said, for Stan and the Intergender Bonanza social medias. Make sure you go follow them. Look out for that date. They're gonna drop that big match coming up. You're gonna drop it on
a lot of big matches for this next lot of big stuff. A lot of unique and spooky, unusual matches. People are like, what the hell?
Oh, that'd be amazing. There you go. Suplex that like button, DDT the subscribe button, pile drive the share button. Make sure you follow on all social media. I like that. That's a good little phrase there. Once again, on closing, anything you want to get out before we get out of here?
Man, I'm busy a lot the next couple months. Just follow me on my social media. Come out and support all the companies I'm wrestling at and have a good time, because wrestling is all about having fun times, good times, and laughs, and just going crazy and just
Where are you at this weekend?
Loving wrestling. This weekend I'll be at SSW, and I'm gonna be at High Tension again soon. I'm doing my the pre-show cream show.
Love that.
August 12th.
Nice. Well, guys, make sure you come back to us Monday at 7 p.m. for episode 74 with Sear and Rain. And then join us once again on Tuesday for episode 75. Another comedy guy here, Stan. Wade Kruger from the Stepdads.
Oh, there we go.
And then we'll end the week on a Thursday, episode 76, the biggest episode we've ever had because it's Big Dan Champion, baby.
Oh, I love Dan Champion.
Yeah. So a lot of great stuff coming up next week. There's the full lineup announced early for all of you. It only gets better as the month goes on. The jam-packed about 2 to 3 episodes every single week from now to the end of the month, and then we have a laundry list of people to come on next month. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, make sure you check the links below and sign up. It doesn't have to be professional wrestling. It could be any industry, any field. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. If you have a story to tell, I'm here. Thank you, Stan, so much for doing this. I appreciate you. You're always a blast. One of the people I always look forward to seeing back at shows and having a chat with you. But we'll close it out here. We'll hear some music by the Converse Kid, Billy Trey. We'll see you on Monday. See you soon.